It has been 4 beautiful years since April 2020. Were any of us ready for what we went through in that immortal journey? Hey guys, the Dream Phoenix coming at you, celebrating the last video before Rebirth. The genius woven into every fiber of the fabric of this masterpiece. Remake is Beethoven's Ninth. So herein is one example of how not just in Remake, but since for 4 years, we have been exposed to something truly special. One Midgar, not necessarily one world. The worlds are likely still merging, but as Midgar was inside the singularity when it collapsed, it is ground zero. This is much different than saying, I want it to be one Midgar. I believe that the Remake anthology is David coming out of the marble, one-winged angel coming out of the ink. Whatever comes our way in a week, I am good with. It is Remake Midgar spliced with Final Fantasy VII Midgar. Consider, at Destiny's crossroads, you have Remake Midgar, and then when the heroes go through the wormhole, Cloud finds himself soon thereafter hovering above a Midgar. But this is no longer the Remake Midgar. This is very close to the Final Fantasy VII Midgar. Sector 6 has not fallen. Nobody lives beyond the perimeter wall on the upper plate. This is Final Fantasy VII. And we have lots of visual evidence that we're looking at the same, but not the same, City of Mako. In the 25th anniversary celebration, that is the same fallen Sector 6 as the one shown at the beginning of Remake. At the end of Remake, both groups of heroes are looking at the same city skyline, even though after the orb explosion, Zack was looking at a different Midgar, but now the same. In the theme song reveal trailer, Marlene demonstrates preternatural awareness far beyond any other embodiment of Marlene has. This is very likely the Marlene from Remake. That gives us a bridging of space and time for Zack, because now Zack is interacting with Remake Marlene, so they're in the same city now, and we have a bridging of time. As these two survivors walk towards Midgar, they're no longer at the relative time of the end of Crisis Core, which is some months before Cloud hops off the first bombing run train. Somehow, these two survivors find themselves in Elmira's home with Remake Marlene after Sector 7 has fallen. So there's evidence that it's the same Midgar, and yet there is at least an equal amount of evidence to suggest that they're two different Midgars. In those final iconic scenes of Remake, Rufus is looking at an undamaged helipad, and yet in Remake it was damaged. Hojo, behind him stands a fully intact bridge, but in Remake it was destroyed. The sign damage in Sector 7 is different than the one evidenced in Chapter 13 of Remake. At the end of intermission, the holy symbol is on the wall inside the Sector 5 church. And yet, as Aerith and Cloud escape that same church in Remake, the symbol is not on the wall. But then suppose there is an elegant reason for this second set of visual stimuli. Imagine for a moment that instead these visuals were from Final Fantasy VII. The helipad would not be destroyed. The bridge would be fully intact. The sign very likely would not have the same damage as that from Remake, because things just fall differently, as they literally did throughout all of Remake. And the holy symbol would be on the wall. So it seems that the mega structure called the City of Mako, Midgar, is Remake, but everything that was connected to the story of Remake has been replaced by Final Fantasy VII. It's as if all of those memories from Remake are lost like tears in the rain. And we have an immaculate, emotional suggestion of this at the end of Reunion. This is the same City of Mako. This is the same Midgar as from the opening of Remake. The same two helicopters with the same spacing, the lights in the tower. This is Remake Midgar. And yet, in the final moment as Cloud disappears into a tunnel for the first bombing run mission, it fades to black, to be continued in Final Fantasy VII. But that is impossible because the city he's in is not the Final Fantasy VII Midgar, which we saw at the end of Remake. So what is going on? It's as if the two Midgars have been spliced together. because it is my belief that they have. Consider the singularity at the end of Remake. It is not a shield like the dome over the crater in Final Fantasy VII. It is made of the Vitae, the lifeblood, the bodies of the Whispers. That dome, that singularity in space-time, and the Whispers are synonymous. When the Whispers were removed because they were consumed by Sephiroth, this released a meteoric explosion. Something big has happened. I believe that just like that singularity, everything that was entangled with the Whispers, so emotionally connected to the Whispers, was removed with the Whispers. It's all gone. Not the people, not the progenitors of memory, but the memories around them, gone. And in this void in space-time, you have 1997's City of Mako fitting in. And how do we know that entanglement, that emotional connection is a thing? At the end of Reunion and Crisis Core, it reigns in a church. Why? Because of the connection between Zack and Aerith. And if the mind wonders, but the Whispers had nothing to do with the bridge behind Hojo being destroyed. It's not just the literal memories, the time bubbles around the Whispers that were removed. Anything that was causal, like dominoes, linked to these memories, also removed due to entanglement. So that would be almost all of Remake. One Midgar. There you have it. We have felt Beethoven's Ninth, and in less than a week, we're all going back. And to close out 4 years of theories, my two big hopes, things that I hope to see either in Rebirth or Requiem or whatever the third one will be called. Number one, upon the final notes of the final installment, whatever and whenever it will be, every hero has faced their horizon based on their choices. Whatever ends, people meet happily ever after, heroic sacrifice. If some people have to die, whatever it might be, it's on their terms, their choices. And then number two, that everybody has the opportunity, whether or not it comes to pass. Perhaps choices will allow or disallow, but the opportunity is there for everybody to experience what Tidus and Yuna did in Final Fantasy X. Some act of conclusive romance. I don't know if we'll see it in Gold Saucer or in Rebirth, but at some point, these people who are facing cosmic destiny in their darkest hour, which is quickly approaching under that gathering storm, nothing to hold them back. Beauty resonates around more than one planet. Those are my two big hopes. Imagination Adventurers, something that has given me great joy throughout this video. Less than 1 week, and the answers and questions will begin to arise. Until next time, I bid thee adieu.